Hey folks, it's David back again with another video. Welcome back to Verse by Shave. Got kind of a one-off, unusual video today. I don't usually make videos about stuff, but once you've given enough time to something, you can't help but want to talk about it a little bit. And for the past 2 weeks, I have been thoroughly entertained by all of the news of the Snow White movie that's supposed to come out in 2025, Rachel Zegler, Gal Gadot drama, and how this movie is just not looking to make, it's not looking good. It's not looking to make a lot of money. I was watching Mr. H reviews not an hour ago as he was live streaming with a couple of guys, and I'll tell you what, there was a moment on there that even threw all of them aback. They were like, whoa, what just happened? They reset the likes on the trailer, apparently. The official Snow White trailer that finally released, what was it, a week ago or whatever. And yeah, I actually checked it myself, and this was a few minutes after I stopped watching Mr. H Reviews' stream, and it showed 23,000 likes. And I attempted to hit the dislike icon, and it didn't really take. It like went dark. It didn't have a counter. They're not allowing dislikes. The thumbs down is disabled. Whereas when I would click the thumbs up, my phone would do the little vibrations and would give it the thumb up. They're only allowing likes now. I kid you not. And that was really funny that I was watching Mr. H Reviews live stream, and that happened. A guy on there realized, hey man, they just reset the likes on this trailer because it was ratioed so horribly. It was almost at a ratio of like 20 dislikes to every 1 like, and that is bad. Somebody made a point in another video that even that Little Mermaid movie, which I never watched, that live action remake, I don't think I've watched any of these live action remakes. I'm not interested in them. I don't really approve of them. I was thinking earlier, I never even watched the 101 Dalmatians movies they made, the live action of that, way back in the day. I never actually watched that because I was like, at the time, I was like, I've got the cartoon when I was a kid. I don't need to see this. Anyways, I know a lot of people do like this stuff, but anyways, somebody made the point that even that Little Mermaid movie, the ratio was, even though it was like thousands and thousands of dislikes, the ratio was still, that's something like 12 dislikes to 1 like, whereas with this movie, it's 20 to 1, and that is horrible. That is absolutely horrible. This stuff has been coming on for like 2 years now. I remember, it was jarring to me to get back into this and really just focus on this movie and the news that I've been hearing for the past little while, because I remember that weird image of the 7 guys. They were supposed to be the 7 dwarves, but it's supposed to be this ultra woke, ultra whatever retelling of Snow White, and these guys, maybe there was one little person, but it was like 7 hobos or seven hippies, 7 something, and Rachel Zegler Snow White. And man, to see the dwarves, the animated abominations that they put into this, it looks so bad in that trailer. It looks so bad in this trailer, my goodness. I just watched it a few minutes ago. Man, people wanting to cast blame around, and this is something I wanted to talk about, make sure I talk about in my 10 or 12 minutes here before I gotta stop recording. Peter Dinklage apparently is someone who people are wanting to cast a little bit of shade at about the little people part of it. Like, why in the world did they use fake computer-generated? Why did they use animated dwarves instead of actual little people, instead of actual dwarves? That's 7 people you could have hired, given a job to, who could have made these characters. But apparently it was Peter Dinklage who said something about it's like archaic or backwards or embarrassing or something. That there's this woman, she's living with 12 little people, like these little people. If he was trying to make the point, like look down upon or like subhuman, like you're not treating the little people as people or something like that. I suppose in some respect maybe the man's got a point. At the same time, this is just a folklore story. It's a mythical legend. It's an old thing. Like the whole thing about having the skin as white as snow. Almost said snow as white as skin. That in itself, nobody has skin that is as white as snow. That is like a glowing, fanciful thing in itself. But it goes back to the actual Germanic tale, this old story, for the inspiration of it. And so it makes people like me wonder what in the world is going on that Peter Dinklage would actually say something like that. So silly. It cost 7 people their job. Well, they weren't hired to begin with, so it didn't cost anybody anything. But at the same time, it's like, do you want to see little people receive acting roles or not? That's one. And on the other hand, you just wonder to yourself, so what? He's just an actor. Why does Peter Dinklage have that kind of power? Does he hold that kind of sway over in the little people camp or whatever? Does he have leverage over people? Is he that powerful that they just listen to him on these things just because he said it? It's maybe, I don't know. But it's very stupid to me that they wouldn't just use actual people and have the makeup and everything and actually make dwarves like in the tale. But the other thing I wanted to talk about was Rachel Zegler. Rachel Zegler, I've only seen her in one movie, like last year I think, in Shazam, that sequel movie. I checked last night when I was thinking about this. I think it showed her as being in Shazam, the first movie. I don't remember her being in it, but it was one of whatever. Shazam, Fury of the Gods. And I just saw her and I'm like, wow, she's a pretty young woman. That's about it. And she was very dramatic, or whatever. And apparently that's not just her acting, maybe, because wow, this has been horrendous. The things she said about people like me. I was a Trump voter at one time, and you know what? This is kind of difficult for me to get out because I've actually thought about this junk, having watched dozens of videos about this one news item at this point, that I'm skipping to the conclusion, and I don't really want to do that, but it is what it is. It's all I can think to say. So much more of the blame has to go on other people besides Zegler in this regard, even though she is a big mouth, even though she is a narcissist, even though she's mean. And seemingly uninhibited, like out of control with the social media and whatnot, and her narcissism. I'm talking about in this one regard. She's only like 23 years old. And granted, you gotta be, at 18, you gotta know when to lock it down, behave yourself, because after that, you're ruining your own good fortune you might otherwise have if you just conducted yourself in a decent manner. Calm, down to earth, filled with all gravity, as the book says. And it's not just that she's young. There's something about her narcissism where I've never seen. I mean, you hear about starlets in particular, but also so many actors, men, on social media who just shoot themselves in the foot with the stupid things they say because they're spreading it all over the place and ruining the mystique of the celebrity, especially the actor. actresses. And yet, for her to be doing it, like to 10, like by multiples, like she's wanting to be like woke squared. It's something about her youth in this regard. And even though she is what she is, it's her own fault. It's also the fault of the people who put her in that position, who gave her that job, and who gave her that phone, and who gave her social media, and all of these other people the same way. There's actually lots of blame to go around in this regard. She didn't give herself the job, somebody else gave it to her. She's, in a way, everything that Disney, and all of its evil, and all of its white man bad, orange man bad, woke, feminism, just you name it, insanity. She is a product in her youth of everything that Disney Corp says that it wants, and wants to elevate, and wants to put out there into the world. That's what I'm saying as far as...
A member of this committee just asserted that this witness was under oath and a former agent of the FBI lied. There is no evidence that
in this regard.
I do not withdraw.
She's woke.
He is not a
Disney's
member of
woke.
Congress. It's not a violation.
She's the product of, I think, multiculturalism. Myri, I think she's got...
there is not a legal person on this committee who has ever characterized a witness.
Gentleman from Rhode Island. Gentleman.
I think Polish.
Gentleman from
Somebody
Rhode
said
Island.
Polish. Parent, father, mother. I might be getting them swapped up.
The gentleman from Texas will suspend for a moment.
Yeah, she's literally everything that they're pushing, and it's blowing up in their faces. And it's so wonderful to see that. It's so wonderful and so great to know that they're spending money they're not going to get back and propping up this horrible movie that should never have been made in the first place.
Mr. Chairman, this is outrageous.
They want to be, Disney wants to be society. Disney wants to say things, for instance, like Zegler did about the Israeli-Gaza-Palestinian conflict. Zegler did that. She made it personal. She made it, what's the problem? Well, the problem is we got Gal Gadot over here, who happened to, she is an Israeli, even to serve in the IDF. They all have to serve in the IDF in Israel for 2-3 years, 4, I don't know. It's, what I'm saying is, it's almost, to my mind, it's almost like Zegler is Disney. Is Disney going to be able to successfully amputate itself from itself? Are they going to somehow distance themselves from Zegler, who they made the star? She's Snow White, when she's out there, if anything, maybe not as overtly on the racial part of it. She is essentially trashing the Hugh White aspect of the whole thing. And as much as when she's ranting and raving, she's not celebrating when she gets into this stuff. People have made this point before. Whenever you see people who are of like a biracial heritage, do they ever celebrate when they're half white or European? Do they ever celebrate that aspect of their lineage, or is it just the non-white that is celebrated? Somebody made that point one time, and I'm like, you know what? It's hard to think of anybody who does that, who is of that category of person. I can't really think of anybody who does that. And now there's Zegler out there, the Latina, because that's the part she has to go with. And in the movie, I kid you not, in the trailer, it's all about who's fair, not the fair skin. That's the old dramatic tale. It's all about equity. Who is the fairest one of all? She said it in that interview, the sit-down director chair, looking chair they sit in. It's about who's the most just. She said it, they said it, and that's what the movie's about. Absolutely amazing, absolutely wonderful. You probably have guessed right now. It's been a while since I did a rant like this, but I've come to hate Disney, and I want it to cease to exist. So many of you are still of the mind like, oh, they just need to do better. Nah, close up shop, chapter 11, and let people who are sane and decent have the resources that Disney currently has. That's where I stand on the whole thing. Anyway, I'm up to 15 minutes. Man, it's going to take forever to upload this. Anyway, I'd like to keep on about this because there's something really entertaining about the whole thing. I think it's great. I think it's great. It is very, very entertaining. Much more entertaining than the movie's going to be. I guarantee you that. Real life at this point is much more funny and inspiring than a lot of these movies they're making. Anyways, until next time, folks. Thanks for listening to me.